I wanted to talk about what's happening in the media in regards to Gaza and Israel. The media is making it look like the following. Yeah, Hamas did something wrong, but why should all the Palestinians suffer for the wrong that only Hamas made? And the other way some people are looking at it is that, yeah, Hamas did something wrong, but Israel shouldn't also use such excessive force. Israel is using excessive force against the Palestinian people. And this is really as far as the whole dialogue goes in understanding the Palestinian situation in regards to what happened to the ceasefire. Everybody's understanding the humanitarian aspects of this, so on and so forth. But I want to be very clear. When Mr. Obama was trying to hug the Zionists, and when he made the statement that, if I was in Israel and if I was sleeping and there were rockets coming to my house, I would also try to defend, my family and do whatever I could, and trying to appease the Zionist constituency in this country when he was saying this. But let me ask Mr. Obama and the others, you guys don't seem to have an idea of what's happened. Yeah, if there are rockets flying, you're going to try to protect your child, of course. But what if somebody puts a fence around your house, doesn't let you out of that house? You're not going to do anything then? And so here's the situation, right? We want ceasefire. Okay, let's talk about ceasefire. So this is the ceasefire. We're going to put a 100-foot wall around you. We're not going to hurt you anymore. We're just going to imprison you. And yeah, by the way, we're going to take away your water supply. And we're not going to let you go for your jobs. And by the way, when you have a democratic elected constituency that's democratically elected, we'll deny them anything. We won't even talk to them. So here you have a group of people that are locked in. You're not willing to talk to their freely elected leadership. You want to call them terrorists. Then you want to talk about ceasefire. And then what's so interesting, and I'll go into this, and then you want to talk about ceasefire, and then you do the ceasefire in June, and November you start attacking again. And if you really, it's so interesting when you watch these people come on TV, Israel really had no choice after 6,000, of these rockets that, these rockets, they're like firecrackers. There were 6,000 firecrackers that were thrown into Israel that Israel is reacting to. And that's why only 4 people died. Because you can imagine if there are 6,000 firecrackers, 4 people could die from that. And so it's not any different from a protest. And then you have, a large crowd in a protest and some people die. My point is that Israel was the first one to break the ceasefire on November 4th. Israel was the one that was asked by Hamas before this invasion. Hamas said, if you go back to the 1967 borderlines and if you stop this invasion upon us, we'll go back to ceasefire. So when Israel says, we tried absolutely everything, we tried everything diplomatic, that's not true. Because first of all, they denied the leadership of Hamas any rights to be the representative of leadership because Hamas is a terrorist organization. And they keep talking about, oh, look at the charter of Hamas. Look at the goals of Hamas. When they completely ignore the fact that Hamas took part in the elections out of its acceptance of the two-state theory, meaning Palestine and Israel. Anyway, that's one issue. But the other issue is that when the Jewish people came out, the Jewish settlers, by the way, within Gaza, within that area, 25% of that land was and is still occupied by Jewish people. But they took a lot of the Jewish people out and then built this wall around that land called Gaza. And this is why Jimmy Carter's book is very important regarding this issue. I mean, it's not a joke. I mean, you talk about, why did Hamas throw 6,000, firecrackers into Israel? And yeah, Hamas is doing wrong, but the Palestinian, they don't deserve this much overwhelming force. It's a completely wrong way of looking at it. When you look at the order of things, even from the ceasefire, well, first of all, you want a two-nation state, side by side, but yet you want to deny them the democratically elected group. Then you want to build a wall around the entire citizenship, the entire population. This is, and if you read, I challenge anyone, go to Google and type in anything regarding Gaza, Israel timeline. Go type it in, go see the timelines. For every one militant that they supposedly killed, you'll find that they killed at least 5 or 6 citizens. 5 or 6 citizens die, bystanders die. Right now, the situation is, and this is what the Palestinian intellectuals, they have understood from everything that's happening, and this is very important to understand the timing of why this is happening right now. The taking out of the Jewish people happened because Israel always wanted to be in a position where it can isolate the Palestinian people and have a full assault without worrying about their own people. This is why they did this. And the Palestinian people knew this from the very beginning. And so this ceasefire was a myth in the sense that both sides knew this is not going to last. Besides the fact that Israel is the one who broke the ceasefire. In November 4th, it was Israel that attacked. Who attacked the West Bank first? I mean, you talk about Gaza, but Gaza and West Bank are both part of the same group. It's not okay. You can't play the underhanded trick of saying, well, West Bank is something else. Yeah, we maybe shot a few rockets into the West Bank, or yes, maybe we hurt a few people in the tunnels that they were building on November 4th. But you can't isolate these events. And so one thing that has to be understood, yeah, the Fatah party rules the West Bank, and yes, Hamas rules the Gaza. And so, but they are the same people. And Hamas feels for the people of the entire populace. So I'm not trying to defend Hamas. I think Hamas made a tactical mistake by throwing the firecrackers that they did. And at the same time, now let's talk about the timing. Because both sides knew that this peace will not last. Because both sides were already doing things by which the ceasefire was broken long ago. I told you in November, Israel was the first to attack, and no one talks about this. No one talks about who really started, since the ceasefire, which group started the first violence. Why doesn't anybody talk about this? Everybody talks like as if the moment, so the ceasefire was technically broken since November. Technically broken since November. But why now do they bring up the issue of, Hamas didn't throw 6,000 rockets in one day. They're trying to make it seem like, we were being patient, we were being patient, we were being patient. No, what's happening is now elections are about to come up in Israel. And in order to get the constituency on their side, they need, we're going to protect you. Vote for us. We're going to help you. Those Hamas rockets that are coming in, we're going to protect you from that.